got sound. Yes. We'll open this meeting with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Oh, no, excuse me, just a second. Prayer. Right, you can stand at the podium if that's comfortable.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, Heavenly Father, right now, I just thank you for the opportunity to just honor you in this meeting. Thank you for all these leaders, regardless of where we're all at with you or not, Lord. I just thank you for the privilege to ask for your blessing, for your favor on all the decisions made. And I ask especially for a blessing on anyone that would have a desire to do your will in our jobs, that you would just make decisions easy for them regardless of the consequence. And just thank you for your blessing on this meeting and ask for your presence to be welcome here regardless of the outcome. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Williams?
Here.
Councilor Burke?
Here.
Councilor Berger?
Here.
Councilor Culp?
Here.
Councilor Smith?
Here.
Councilor Taylor?
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman?
Here.
Roll call is complete, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Welcome everyone here tonight. It's nice to have such a lot of people out there. We are going to postpone the approval of the minutes so that they did not get ready in time for distribution to the council. So we'll move on to reports of the department heads. Mr. Sykes?
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council, as it's the second meeting, it'll be the building report. There was no permits sold in the month of January. However, in February, there was one sold for a remodel for $322. So for this fiscal year so far, we've sold 21 permits for a total of $33,383. Seems like a lot, but don't forget one permit had 13 buildings on it for that Coven housing down on Commerce Way, which was rather a large building permit on that. Looking back, the 4-year average for the end of February is actually $22,455. So we're still above average for bringing in the funding. Don't forget, as of last year, the building fund is self-sustaining and has a separate fund, so it's not run through the general fund on that. Just wanted to add one other thing to the report tonight. We're getting ready to hit our fourth quarter starting March 1st. So for a city at this time of the year, we're looking at what did we spend, how deep are we into our budgets for the year. We start filling in gaps. So what we did here at City Hall, we've noticed because of reduced plowing and reduced unemployment and different costs, we actually have a little bit extra funding. So I went ahead and we funded the fire suppression system for here. We're actually bringing it up to date so that we can bring it to current state standards. We ran it through Chief Lauer and everything, and we're really excited to be able to get that done. And that's going to be at the cost of $18,524. So the way we're running the budget, where we spend what we need, and then towards the end of the year we can do these larger projects, is really working out really well. And that's why I report, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Other committee reports? Building?
Madam Mayor, we have not had a meeting yet. We're waiting for our newest appointee to fill our committee, and then we'll set a date once he gets his feet under him.
Okay. Parks?
Pretty much the same thing. We'll get something set now that we have another committee member.
Okay. Fire? Did you?
No report.
Okay. Streets and sidewalks?
Yes. I did send over the formal recommendation from the committee for the suitor request on City Service Road. So just waiting to put all that into motion for the public hearing and any legalities.
Okay. Thank you. No ordinance, no sewer, water, wildlife? You said was on the 7th.
That is correct.
Okay. No board and commission minute or reports. So to To ensure that everyone understands how to engage with this public body in proceeding, there is this dedicated time for public comment next on our agenda. It's time for the public to comment on any matters that are not on the agenda, but is within the jurisdiction of the City Council. It is a comment period, not a question and answer period, and each person has 3 minutes. So if you have a comment on a topic not on the agenda, step to the podium, state your name and address, and make your comment. Okay? Any public comment on items not on the agenda? Items not on the agenda. Items not on the agenda? Okay. Then we will move on to our agenda items. The public is welcome to comment on each agenda item as they are under consideration by the council. Again, each 3 minutes per topic, and comments must be on the specific agenda topic or discussion item under discussion. So the first new business item would be the request for approval. The request to approve April 5th Mineral Avenue street closure for Red, White, and Bruise. Somehow I thought it was the 4th, but I thought I saw it also was the 5th. So is the Red, White, and Bruise here to make that request? I need to. Okay.
So, go ahead, Cindy.
We would like the street closed from 2nd Avenue to 6th Street, or from 2nd Street to 6th Street.
Okay.
We plan on having a 406 block party. We've invited every business along the road, and most of them are participating. We have porta potties lined up already, along with open businesses, and we have insurance in the works.
Okay.
We're also inviting any business on Mineral that's in brick and mortar, and any business that's not on Mineral, we encourage them to actually participate also, as far as either a booth or something like that. But we're kind of like gearing toward businesses that are in brick and mortar, that, just to get these businesses recognized by the public and get people out during springtime with festivities and such.
Okay. There's 3 things you need in relation to a street closure. One is the insurance, which you mentioned. One is that you need to be responsible for all your trash. And then the barricades, they will get dropped off for you, and you're responsible for placing them where you want them and then putting them back on the trailer. Okay? Just so we're clear with all of that.
Right.
Okay? So, council?
I think it's great. I love to see it. You're growing.
Well, Libby's growing, and we want people to recognize all the businesses that are involved in the community. So, this originally started obviously as our grand opening, but we've invited everybody to make it something more community oriented. So that's basically our goal.
I like it.
And you might have found a petition. I found it. I'm not sure where it came from or how it arrived at the council table, but in support of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the street closure for April 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. April 5th from 2nd Street to 6th Street, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
I'll second.
Madam Mayor, I'll abstain.
Okay. Any other comments from the council? Questions from the council? Okay. You may take your seats, and I'll ask for public comment at this time. Are there any public comments on this street closure? Any public comments? Public comments? Then we'll bring it back for a vote. All in favor of the motion to close Mineral Avenue on April 5th?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The motion passes. You have your street closed.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is Gary. The Igniters Car Club request for the annual street closure and noise variance request on August 15th and 16th?
15th and 16th.
Yes,
For
okay.
Friday night from 6 to 9, the 15th, then Saturday the 16th from 6 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And I heard you talking about the garbage and all that. We take care of our garbage. We bring our own barricades.
Okay.
So.
And you have insurance.
And we have our insurance.
Sure.
Kevin
Okay.
Peck is our
You have it
insurance.
covered.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just request for the street for them 2 days. And someone asked me earlier, how many years have we been doing this? I have no clue. I've been a member for 25-some years, and it's been that many years at least, so. Next year I'll find out how many years it's actually been.
Isn't it close to 60?
What's that?
I think it's close to 60.
Really?
Well, the club itself has been a club since 1961, but we didn't move on to Mineral Avenue for the car show until my wife and I became members, and that was somewhere about 25, 26 some years ago. And we moved it on to Mineral Avenue. It's been on Mineral Avenue since then. So I just got to look to see whenever I joined the club, and I don't remember how long ago that was.
So does council have any questions or comments regarding the street closure?
No, always a great event.
Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the street closure on August 15th and 16th for the Igniters Car Club.
I'll second.
And wait, excuse me, Gail, just a second. And you need to include the noise variance?
With the street closure and noise variance request.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll take public comment on the request for closing the street for the Igniters. Any public comment? Public comment? Then all in favor of the motion to close Mineral Avenue for the Igniters Car Show?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You have your street
Thank you.
closure. That brings us to the next agenda item, which is Steve Lauer, and I saw him. He's hiding back there, but I did see him. He's going to give us an update on the 2025 Volunteer Firemen's Convention.
Thank you, Council Mayor. Again, not looking for any hopes or anything like that, just really an update for the upcoming state convention. First of all, thank you again for your support for the conventions you've done already. The county and the Rural Fire District has also financially supported that. So, along with many businesses throughout the community that is supporting this convention, it will be Thursday, June 12th, Friday the 13th, and Saturday the 14th, which is also Father's Day weekend. We're aware of that, but we kind of picked that for specific reasons and outlining some different activities. So just a very brief outline of what that is. Thursday night, Thursday, there'll be some golf going on. People coming in early, some vendors and the participants, attendees who play golf. And then Thursday night, we'll be actually at Fireman's Park, next to the Chamber of Commerce, or in that parking lot area. We've already discussed that with the Chamber and let they know that we're going to kind of rope that off, and specifically let the barbecue area in there and the event that stuff goes on in there. Of which next year's host, Stevensville, will actually be doing the cooking in there for that event. Friday, we have a significant amount of training. Most everything will happen from the Memorial Center and the Mackey Theater around that area. Had a conversation with Zach McNew, who has approved us taking up his space in front of the old school there, so some of will do into that area too. Training, and then Friday night we'll be down at the Riverfront Park, Riverfront Pavilion, for the barbecue down there with some guest speakers and stuff down there. And then Saturday, kind of the same venue again with training, but then we will be inside the Memorial Center for the banquet and guest speaker in there. At that same time, we have quite a few things going on with the spouses. We'll come and go to the dam and go to the Booty Falls and some other things, so quite a bit of people come for that. So far, we have about 12 vendors, 15 or so instructors, and we're hoping for attendees to be in that 100 range. It's been low in the last few years, so we're hoping we've made a lot of personal calls to all volunteer departments throughout the whole state for personal invites, and passed on the information I think we have a pretty good program that we get that attendance up there. So really my primary reason for coming is just really for probably Justin's benefit as we're planning on street sweeping and cleaning and that kind of stuff. Maybe hopefully I can get the sweeper and help from them sweeping the memorials park there, Fireman's Park. We can help get with that. And then as he's planning the street sweeping, just know that a bunch of people coming from out of town, as with other events that come on, but do a good job. But just know that that June 12th, if people coming in, then we can plan ahead for something like that. Other than that, asking Mayor Williams to join us Friday morning to welcome the attendees that are coming. Just a couple minute thanks for coming and welcome them if you could do that for us.
I would love to,
We'd
yes.
appreciate that. So other than that, available for questions if you got any questions for me for that. So.
Just want to thank you guys very much for doing this. I know it's a big undertaking.
The young guys are the ones that went to convention and said they wanted to do it. So
I hope they're pulling their weight.
Yeah, they are. There are a lot of great stuff going on.
Concrete's all done?
No, concrete is not all done. It's getting close. So we're bringing that up.
Any other council comments or questions?
This
Okay.
is the incident commander of that convention.
Okay. Any public comments on Steve's report for the Firemen's Convention coming to Libby? Any public comments? Public comment? It really is a great thing. We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Steve. Moving on to Kelly Morford. I see he's out here. The Loggertown Baseball Club request for financial assistance for improvements at Rump Field.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the time to talk to you folks today. I come from, like Mayor said, from Loggertown Baseball Club. That's a group that we started last year with the 10U group, travel baseball. This year we started 12U, 14U is extension of on top of our current league to just give more opportunities. As part of that, we're here in coordination with the Libby Youth Baseball Softball Association, which Brittany Stapley is the president of, to talk about some improvements we would like to make down at the baseball field. This all comes from the fact that this summer on June 14th and 15th, it always works that way. We will have a youth baseball tournament with 10U, 12U, and 14U teams. So we have about 16 teams from out of town signed up right now on top of our teams. Teams from places like Flathead Valley, Missoula, going further away to Bozeman, Butte, Calgary, Bonners Ferry, Idaho. So a lot of people coming in that weekend. Where they stay, I guess we'll find out on top of that Firemen's Convention. But it'll be a great weekend for Libby. Part of my goal is to make sure it's a great experience for them. I tell people all the time that we love Libby because it's in the middle of nowhere. It also makes us a great destination for youth sports, and it can be a great economic driver for our town, which I think this will be. We're in a good spot to attract teams from Canada, teams from Idaho, teams from the Flathead Valley, and I've been a little shocked with the response to this tournament, and excited. It's going to, like I said, going to be great for us and great for our town. We want them to come back and keep this an annual thing, and I hope that if we can make this a success, that maybe the softball crew does the same thing and adds some more down the road. So knowing that you guys get hit up for youth sports and all that all the time, I know how that goes, and but I'm here with that kind of ace in the hole, I guess, is that we have that economic driver and that big weekend coming for our town, and we're excited to be able to offer that. So if you look at kind of the source of or the list of projects there's no denying down at those baseball fields there's big and there's smaller projects. These are a list of projects that are first attainable and will make an immediate impact on our fields, not only for our tournament that we're having in June, but also for our kids here in town. Things like a net for our t-ball field, some fresh dirt, green screen and wind cap, another batting cage for a second batting cage. So you guys have that in your notes, the list of things we're looking for. That's all stuff that we're immediately ready to implement and get done before this season. I also put a list of what we already have for funding, and I know it's one thing to come and ask for help when it's just all you 100%, but we do have some donations from local businesses. We have some in-kind donations on equipment. Brittany just got confirmation from Roundup for Safety that they are going to give about $4,000 for green screen and cap on the fences that are really going to button that up. So I guess in a whole, if you look at my request, it's just to consider anywhere from $1 to $4,450, with the idea of getting those baseball fields spruced up, and on top of that, just knowing that we have a big weekend coming for Libby in the middle of June, which hasn't historically happened. So, like I said, it's kind of coming from an interesting spot because I'm not on the Little League board. They're here with us because we're in coordination. They work with Lagertown. We work with them. So asking from kind of a unique position, but also asking from the point that we're going to have that tournament this summer, and we want it to be a great experience for all these folks that represent Libby well, and most importantly, have them come back in 2026.
Okay, thank you. Does council have any questions or comments?
The only question I had was for that safety cap, since it was a grant that was pending, but that's awesome to hear. I'm glad to hear that. So other than that, no. Sounds like a great project you guys are putting together. I can't wait. Thank you.
Have you contacted the Lore Foundation? The Lore Foundation?
We have not yet. No. Not for this particular project. They did help Little League previously, but not for this.
Well, I think a request like this aligns quite nicely with our community development fund. It's a match. It's not a total amount. It's not. It's even less than 50% match, and so I would recommend that we approve $4,450 for Lagertown.
It's on the agenda only as discussion for tonight.
Discussion.
Yes, I've
Well, you know
asked
where I stand.
Kelly to come back on the 7th of April for approval of that.
Can I come back on the 7th?
And at that time,
well,
maybe
we know
you'll
who the
have a
boss
more
is.
firm
Knows the rules.
understanding of what you actually need, how much you
Yeah, and I
actually
was
need.
going to say at that point, April 7th, knowing what we got here at Roundup for Safety, what we have, I can really dial those numbers in closer.
Okay. And I really need to talk to you about the contract.
Okay.
Okay.
Just so you know,
I
will not be the president next year.
I know, but I'm having difficulty tracking Walter down.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll open it for public comment. Is there any public comment on the request for funding from the softball group? Yes, Justin.
Justin Williams, 878 Florence Road. So last year, Brittany and Ryan got, and some other individuals got deeply involved in identified areas of need. They made a request, for us to help them out, the city help them out with the areas that were identified. And we worked, I feel that we worked diligently together to get these fields kick-started and kind of back up into a good functioning fields for the kids to play ball in. This year we're going to enhance those fields for further use down the road. Talking with them today, looking at it, I think it would only make sense that we help them get those fields going in a direction where we can use them year after year. We put some good energy, a lot of efforts to get there. The volunteers last year, what they have done, I think it's going in a great direction. I'd hate to see it fall on its face, so to speak. Just kind of keep this thing moving ahead with their desire, and they're reaching out and getting people involved from other communities coming. This is a great landing spot for people all around the Inland Northwest to progress this thing into bigger and better. So I think what they're doing is great. They're really putting forth a good amount of effort to do this for the kids. And not just for the kids today, but the kids that come along. So I think they're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments regarding this request? Any other public comments regarding the request? Then I'll bring it back to the council table and we'll move on to approve the committee procedure update for the council policies and procedures. This has kind of been hanging out there for a couple of weeks, months. So just looking for approval tonight, or comments and or amendments if you choose. It's an attempt to put on paper and into our policies and procedures the way we basically handle council committees.
Make a note. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to last time so badly. I'll make a motion we approve the committee procedure to update council policies and procedures.
Second. Making sure, girls.
Do you have any discussion, comments?
No, looks good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any public comments regarding this change, this policy addition to our policies and procedures? Mr. Beebe. Didn't see you hiding back there.
John Beebe, 704 East 9th. I want to thank the council for bringing this up and addressing this. The rules for committees are very important. As far as legislative procedure, that pretty much required. Reading the preamble here, I had some, it says that as such, the established rules of the city council ensure orderly deliberations. Committees will publicly and actively deliberate issues placed in committee, promoting public engagement and input. So the city council rules, which I have here, goes through deliberations and procedure of the city council. This is, mentioned here, but it is not, it's mentioned, but it's not included as a requirement for the committee to follow the city council rules.
Yes.
As I read this, it references the city council rules, establish rules of city council, ensure orderly deliberations, period. And then committees will publicly actively deliberate issues placed in committee, promoting public engagement input. It mentions the council rules, however, it does not require the council rules to be followed. Is that correct? As I read that,
MCA apply to all government bodies. The same rules apply to council that apply to committees that apply to boards.
So then, in fact, the established city council rules and procedures apply to the committees.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to thank you guys for applying these rules to your committees. I appreciate that.
Any other public comment? Mr. Orr?
DC Orrs, 1117 Nevada Avenue. John has done a great job of advocating for some of these changes. It's been a topic of much discussion at the study commission. Madam Mayor, you just noted that committees, commissions, boards, all of those are handled the same way under Montana law. If they take money from the governmental unit, they are to abide by Montana laws. The list here of standing committees does not include the zoning commission, does not include the study commission. The Rules and Procedures Committee should be formed. and inform you guys what is required under Montana law. Like item number B, conduct of committee meetings, that's covered under MCA 2-3-203, and what you have there is a very small part of that. You're leaving out a lot of stuff that's very important. Same thing happens in item number G, committee minutes and reports. Now this is where the study commission got involved in this, and I appreciate you guys taking that to heart and actually dealing with it. But MCA 2-3-212 tells you that you are required to keep minutes, and item number G is very incomplete. You guys really haven't done your homework well. Placing items on committee agendas, all of this should have been previously discussed at more depth, and maybe even ought to, I would urge you even to put this in unfinished business and complete it so that it is something that is usable. Otherwise, you end up with something that, like we'll talk about the distracted driving ordinance later, that is unusable because it has been improperly enacted. This has not been properly enacted. It will not be usable.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Then bring it back to the council table. Is there any other comments or discussion from the council before we vote?
I think we've had this on our agenda 3 times. Council members have had an opportunity to review it, edit, add.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will get those implemented into the council rules. Moving on to ordinance 2053, distracted driving. An ordinance adding a new chapter to Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, entitled Distracted Driving, and adding definitions. Whereas the city of Libby has seen an increase in traffic accidents due to distracted driving related to the use of cell phones, and whereas the city of Libby Municipal Code is lacking specific language to deter such behavior, and whereas it is in the public interest to try and reduce traffic accidents, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Libby, the following new chapter 44, Title 10, is hereby adopted. And I'm not going to read the entire thing. So, Gail, I know that you were following the state law that dealt with, and I forgot to double check it today. Do you know where it stands?
Double check it as well.
Okay.
I can pull it up very quickly here because it's on my speed thing.
Okay.
But it looks to me as if it's going to pass. It's got the backing of the Department of Transportation and also a cause behind it.
Okay. So,
go real quick here.
and Chief Erkenbrock could not be here tonight, so.
It's pending in the House, it passed the Senate.
Okay. So do I hear a motion for the second reading of distracted driving ordinance 2053?
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 2053 of the City of Libby, Montana, an ordinance adding a new chapter to Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, entitled Distracted Driving, and adding definitions to 10.04.020.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Well, we talked last time about the potential for state legislation about, and recognizing that we shouldn't necessarily hold up our own ordinance, and if we need to rescind it, we can rescind it. It's right.
Okay. Any other comments?
I will, sorry, Madam
Sure.
Mayor, I will just note that this copy has the corrections that were adopted at the first reading.
Thank you.
Removing the definition and striking one of the prohibited acts.
Thank you. I meant to point that out, and got distracted. So.
At least you weren't driving.
So any other comments from the council?
No pun
I have a
intended.
question on number
Sure.
2 of exemptions. It says, government, fire agencies, that's, emergency responders. It doesn't specify on duty. Is that?
I believe the chief has addressed that in the past.
I was wondering if it was specified in the Montana code, where it, like if it is specified that it's for when they're on duty.
Okay. Any other comments? Now, I would open it up for public comments. Is there any public comments on ordinance 2053? Keep my glasses on. 2053, distracted driving. Public comments? Mr. Orr?
So this is one that the study commission has actually written a report on. I gave you a preliminary report when we were allowed to before the study commission was censored by the mayor. But the way this has been drafted has just been a comedy of errors. And in that report, I let you guys know that you allowed the chief to violate his oath of office in giving a presentation that was not on the agenda. Mayor Williams, by allowing that, committed official misconduct, which is an impeachable offense. You went on to even commit the Title 45 crime of tampering with the public record when you had a 4-2 vote on this to approve a false record. 2 of you voted against it. And the most recent thing, in February 27, the Ordinance Committee wrote a memo which said council agreed to consider. Now, in the mayor's memo of November 25, the mayor said there had to be a vote for this to move forward. There has never been a vote for this to move forward. You guys are violating your oath of office if you consider this tonight.
Okay. Any other public comments? Mr. Beebe?
John Beebe, 704 East 9th, Council, Mayor. As you know, I spoke in opposition in committee of this, and then I missed the meeting when you guys, and so I want to thank you for striking item D on that, and the state is going to pass this. It's got full support. It's going to pass, and then it'll be a moot point at that time. But I want to thank you for considering the public comments in the committee, and I appreciate you striking that any activity deal. That was a little broad and sweeping, and I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Okay. Any other public comments? Any other public comments on distracted driving? Gonna bring it back to the council table. Any other comments before we go for a vote? So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. Distracted driving passes, which brings us to the claims received to date. Did everybody get a chance to look at the claims? And I will remind the public that if you are interested in the claims, which is the bill the city pays, all you have to do is come in on Monday sometime and you can sit down and look at them.
Make a motion, we approve all claims received to date.
Second.
Okay. Any comments on any of the claims? Any public comments on the claims? Public comments? Public comments. Then all in favor of approving the claims?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims are approved. Brings us to business licenses received to date. 311 Mineral LLC, DBA, as copy this and that. Custom Woodworking. Helen Tequila's, DBA, Posams. Helping Hands Montana LLC. And Cat's Can LLC.
Make a motion, we approve all business license applications received to date.
I'll second.
Okay. Any comments on any of these licenses? Any public comments on the business license? Public comments? All in favor of approving the business license received to date?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Those licenses are approved. Brings us to the unfinished business of continued discussion on the Community Development Fund. Any comments, discussion that you want to have? We did have in our packet the City of Libby Community Development Fund application and guidelines for submission. Looks to be very thorough and for people requesting some of those funds.
I think the application has a few things we probably really don't need in there.
Okay.
Could simplify it down.
Okay. Which ones would you like to strike?
I don't think we need to know about payroll or income or property taxes. If you're registered with the Secretary of State, you're most likely qualified to do business in Montana. Yes?
It also doesn't have to be a business, right?
Right, yeah. There's a group.
An organization.
Organization, right. I'm still against grants. I feel like the baseball situation, we can partner with that, or we don't have to do a grant per se. We like what he had to say. He presented well. It benefits our community, the children, everything, and kind of like the way he just presented it, and we decided right there. Ish. But I do like the policy also. I'm just not a fan of the grant application type of situation.
You had also mailed me a copy of the
Tracy
Foundation.
They have a very simplified grant application.
I'm not sure that actually went out.
I don't think so.
No, I
Okay. Sorry.
I think the application is, I think it's important to have an application if we're going to be giving money, which I think we should. But I think it's a little bit putting the cart before the horse if we haven't nailed down our policy yet. So once we decide how we want to spend the money, then we can figure out an application that matches those the directives. Sorry.
The end goal.
The end goal, yes. That would be my thought. I mean, I think, many of those comments are fine, and we can tinker with the application all we want. That's the easy part. The hard part is figuring out how to distribute it.
We did have some comments about amending our the current policy that we had last meeting. One was to rewrite the little background to remove the reference to an actual amount, and then to strike the line, no new loans to area businesses will be granted. And then some, I'm not sure if there were any other, I had circled the word infrastructure because we had had that discussion before that basically infrastructure refers to water and sewer, and I think this is more comprehensive than just water and sewer. So, does anyone else have any changes? We can get these changes recorded. If everybody's basically in agreement, we can record those changes before the next meeting.
I would like to remove infrastructure from this.
Okay. Do you have a word you'd rather see?
It's still right here. I'm sorry, what?
Do you have a word you'd rather
Well,
to describe what exactly, how to?
In the industry, in the community development industry, it's kind of like softscaping. It's not pipes in the ground, but it's enhancements to our visual, and our active sphere.
So improve enhancements, maybe we should just say enhance downtown.
Yeah, we've got enhanced listed a couple times on B and C.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's all we need. Maybe we don't need to add anything else.
Just
Maybe
take
just
that.
remove that.
Remove
because,
A?
Yeah, there is enhance the city's appearance and functionality. That kind of covers what we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, I had requested a list of projects we've
Oh, Mr. Sykes, you did
spent money on.
find the list of projects that this money had been spent on. You did a lot of
I did a background check with just basic what I could find from Black Mountain Software, and I could track about $8 million out. So I just took bunches of the same projects and threw them together in one bundle for a good rough estimate, if you'd like me to send that out.
Yes, he actually went back to the very beginning. I think you were more interested in what's
Each
been
project.
dispersed in the last 5 or 6 years. Maybe.
Well, maybe,
when did
maybe
this
10,
start?
Going back
To 18?
This was 17 is when we adopted the policy. Yeah, I would suggest going back 10 years just to see specific projects so that other council members have an idea of how we spend them.
Okay.
I think the baseball field request is a perfect example of how a lot of this could get spent. If they can keep bringing back tournaments, it's going to help everywhere here, every year. But if we could do that with multiple sports, it would just help this whole town in every way. The hotels, the soon-to-be hotel, the restaurants, the gas stations, everywhere would benefit from it.
Yes.
So if I know we're going back to, we want to do the policy, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a business that's coming in asking for money.
Entity, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just draft, totally draft.
Anything else?
Does this cover a grant writer also for the city?
We kind of have dropped that conversation to go back and get the policy in place. But yes, it could be used to get the grant writer.
I think there was pretty universal support for that.
Yes. Okay. We'll try to get those changes made before the next meeting. So that would bring us to council comments. Anyone have any comments?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I met with the study commission last Wednesday. They have appointed a spokesman, which is Mr. Backen, and they would like to request a spot on the council committee reports. I would like that to be put on the agenda for a vote of the council at the next meeting.
Okay. With spokesman Mr. Backen?
Correct.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments, requests? I was looking for my notes because I did have two notes. One was for June 17th. Libby is going to be hosting the municipal summit put on by Montana League of Cities and Towns, Montana Municipal Insurance, and Local Government Center. It's a kind of a traveling training that they do these municipal summits throughout the state, in different locations, and they asked if we would host, and we eagerly said yes. So it's usually at this time of the year, and it's usually an update from legislative issues that have passed and affect cities and towns, positively and negatively, and it just did, there's no set training that they do every year. I'm just saying that this would be a good year that they might be doing that kind of thing. So just June 14th.
Saturday?
Or, I'm sorry, June 17th. No, I think it's like a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yes. And I did have something else on there. Oh, I think it was Jennifer Nelson and I attended the a retreat for planning tree boards last week in Hamilton. It was a very good meeting, and we need to look at updating our ordinances regarding tree boards, but for Libby to reinstate that tree board help for identifying trees, pruning trees. They do a lot of work, and so we're kind of trying to move into reappointing a tree board, so that should be coming in the near future. And Arbor Day is April 25th. You can mark that on your calendar as well. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.